Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering Microsoft can no longer sell Windows to your country. No updates, no licenses, no support. Millions of computers suddenly become a liability. That nightmare became reality for one of the world's largest technology companies. Huawei lost Android. It nearly lost Windows. Most companies would have collapsed. Instead, Huawei spent 5 years secretly building something that could change the future of computing forever. A brand new operating system. Not based on Android, not based on Linux, not based on Windows. And today, it's beginning to appear on laptops. Could this become the first real competitor to Windows in decades? Let's find out. In May 2019, everything changed. The United States placed Huawei on the Entity List. That single decision immediately prevented American companies from freely doing business with Huawei. Google had to stop providing its mobile services. That meant no Play Store, no Gmail, no Google Maps, no YouTube, outside China. Huawei phones suddenly felt incomplete. Sales collapsed. But smartphones weren't the only problem. Huawei also depended on Intel processors, AMD processors, and Microsoft's Windows operating system for its laptop business. Although Windows wasn't immediately banned, the writing was on the wall. Huawei realized something terrifying. Its entire future depended on technology it didn't own. One political decision could erase years of innovation overnight. The company needed a backup plan. Not next year. Immediately. Only 3 months after the sanctions, Huawei quietly announced something called Harmony OS. At first, the technology world laughed. The first version wasn't even released on a smartphone. It appeared on a television. Even worse, software experts quickly discovered that Harmony OS still relied heavily on Android's open-source foundation. Critics called it nothing more than Android wearing different clothes. But here's what almost nobody realized. That first version wasn't the destination. It was only the bridge. Behind closed doors, thousands of engineers had already begun working on something much bigger. Something that would take nearly 5 years to complete. A completely independent operating system. Every single piece of Android code would eventually disappear. And Huawei was willing to wait. In 2024, Huawei finally revealed Harmony OS Next. This wasn't another Android fork. This was something entirely different. No Android code, no Google Foundation, no compatibility layer. Harmony OS Next became a completely independent platform built from scratch. One operating system, running phones, tablets, smartwatches, cars, smart home devices, and now, personal computers. Think of Apple's ecosystem. Your iPhone works with your Mac, your Apple Watch, your iPad. Huawei wants exactly that experience, but across an entire national technology ecosystem. That's an incredibly ambitious goal. Building one operating system is difficult. Building one that powers every connected device is exponentially harder. Now let's talk about Windows. China is the largest personal computer market on Earth. For decades, almost every business, government office, bank, hospital, and school has depended on Windows. That creates an enormous dependency. After what happened to Huawei, Chinese leaders began asking an uncomfortable question. What happens if Windows becomes the next target? Nobody wants an entire country's infrastructure depending on software controlled somewhere else. At almost the exact same time, Windows 10 reached the end of its life. Millions of computers suddenly needed an upgrade. Huawei saw an opportunity. Instead of upgrading to Windows 11, why not migrate to Harmony OS? Timing couldn't have been better. Huawei isn't trying to replace Windows everywhere. At least, not yet. The strategy is much smarter. First, win China. Government offices, state-owned companies, banks, universities, businesses. These organizations purchase millions of computers every year. If Huawei can convince enough organizations to switch, Developers will follow. Applications will follow. Eventually, an entire software ecosystem begins growing naturally. This is exactly how Windows became dominant decades ago. Huawei is attempting to compress 40 years of ecosystem development into just a few years. The story doesn't end inside China. Huawei already has strong telecommunications infrastructure across many developing countries. Latin America, Africa, the Middle East, Southeast Asia. Many governments already trust Huawei to build their communications networks. Adding Huawei computers, and eventually Harmony OS, becomes a much easier decision, especially when the alternative depends on foreign political decisions. Huawei isn't simply selling software, it's selling technological independence. For many countries, that's becoming increasingly valuable. Will Harmony OS replace Windows? Probably not. At least, not anytime soon. Windows still dominates the global PC market. But that's not the most important question. The real question is this: can one country successfully build a complete technology ecosystem without depending on American software? Huawei believes the answer is yes. And if they're right, the future of computing may become far more competitive than we've seen in decades. One thing is certain: the next battle in technology won't just be about artificial intelligence or smartphones. It will be about who controls the operating systems powering the world's computers. And that battle has only just begun. What do you think? Could Harmony OS eventually become a serious competitor to Windows, or will Microsoft remain untouchable? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of technology, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next tech documentary. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.